Okay, good morning guys. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your GitHub Desktop. As you can see here, the GitHub Desktop and your Git with your Visual Studio Code to track your changes. As we all know that Git and GitHub is a virtual control system that helps you to track your changes during coding or coding, where you push and pull requests from origin to your local machine and vice versa. So first of all, I'm going to open my VS Code, run a HTML boilerplate, then deploy to my GitHub account, and from there, we will now use my second account to clone the repo. From cloning the repo, I will now put it in the main GitHub account. Okay, we're going to create some branches in this video and show you how to do it. All right, let me start by double clicking my VS Code to open the app. Once I open the app, I have to zoom, still on zoom, but I want to zoom off, select want to create a new folder, open a new folder. Sorry, this tutorial is very beginner friendly. Just follow my direction, make sure you're not missing anything. I want to create a new GitHub here. Okay, let me say just cohort one training. Okay, now I double tap on it, open the folder. All right, here I will create a new file and say test training. Test training HTML.html. Please always remember to put your file extension, which is .html, to have the VS Code or your code editor to recognize it as a web page. Okay, we are done. So I have to click I'll close the autocompiler and then press my Shift 1 button and press enter to give me the boilerplate. Let me change the title. I'll say cohort 1 training. Okay, as the title, I will not put a div. I just use a div. Simplicity sake, we're not going to do proper HTML training. We just want to use it for VS Code and partial control system using only GitHub Desktop and Git. Okay, training on version control system. So, all right. Already my VS Code is in autosave. If you take care, you will see I selected autosave. All right. So what we're going to do now is we have a template already. We have our first HTML page. Or now, instead of making use of the first training as the HTML, let's rename it as our index page so that we don't have to trace to get the particular web page. So this is going to be our home page. Once we put this index of HTML already, automatically by default, this is the first page that will be displayed whenever we visit this directory, which is the folder. As we name it, cohort 1 training. All right, that's it. So what we're going to do now is we open our GitHub Desktop. Okay, already I have some working folders or directory. So let me zoom it up a bit. Now click here. Before you do this, confirm the account you're using. Already I've logged in using my GitHub Desktop. And this is the account I logged in with. So what I'm going to do right now is to click on add. Click on this menu, the drop down menu, you will see add. Let me still zoom it a bit. Still zoom it a bit. I'll click on add. Okay. Now we want to create a new repository. We suppose that this folder does not exist in our Git. So we're going to click on create a new repo. Now we track it by using the exact folder name. Please don't make this mistake. Once the root folder is not in the proper direction, you're going to get it wrong. So we still go back, track our Git one training as the folder. So we go back to our GitHub and type cohorts one training. Okay. Now what do you do if you can initialize it to readme, but for now we don't need readme, just for demo purpose. We click on cohort one training. Okay. Now that we have our cohort one training, the first thing we do is to push it to our repository on the GitHub. I'm going to push it to the repository on the GitHub. We keep this folder private so that it's not everybody that search for it on GitHub will see this folder or this repository. So we're going to make it private. We keep the code private so that only the invited collaborator or developers will have access to this code. If you are not invited with code, you cannot get access to this very repo that I want to create. So we keep it private. Now I'll click on all right. While waiting for the push to be completed, I'll go to my I'll navigate to my second account. So I have two accounts here. I'll switch to my second account. Okay. Here's my second account. I click on my profile. Okay, the publish is already completed. So we click on this, click on your repositories. Once you click on your repositories, sorry, I want to zoom it a bit. This is the folder we just published on the GitHub account. So I'm going to click on this folder on this repo, rather, we call it repositories. So it's a folder that contains all the files you have in your code base. We publish this repo on the main branch. This is the main branch. And we have only one branch here. Now, when I visit my index.html, you find out that all the whole code inside, all the HTML tags there are the same thing that are contained in my code editor. So whatever you see here is what you see here. Sorry, let me zoom it a bit. So whatever you see here is what you will see here. So they are just the same thing. You can even run some candidates here, but mind you, when you edit here, you still need to end the change in your VS Code. You can click here, so you are not with your local version, and there is no urgent need for you to edit some buffs in your code base. You can just edit it here, maybe, and deploy or whatever on your GitHub account. So I can do some stuff here. Now observe, if I say add fixed stop and say okay, this is the changes I made on my remote GitHub account. After making your editing, make sure you click on commit changes. Committing changes means to save your changes and push it or pull it. So we're going to commit these changes directly to our main branch. We don't want to create a new branch. We can decide to create a new branch, but we'll create a new branch from our GitHub desktop. Now I'm going to commit these changes. Okay. Now, having commit these changes, what will happen now is that when you visit your GitHub desktop, automatically supposed to fetch. If it didn't fetch, just click on fetch from origin. What we're trying to do here is to make sure that our code synchronizes from the one we have in the remote GitHub account and the one we have in our code editor. Now, it's not telling us that the current branch may have a commit on the GitHub that does not exist on your local machine. So what we'll try to do is to pull from the origin, from the main branch. We are pulling now from this main branch to our code editor, our VS Code editor. So now look at what will happen now. It's trying to pull from the origin. You want to pull those changes we made from the GitHub remote GitHub account to our main local machine. And as you can see, it's done. And this is the changes we made from our repo. Please take note of this very changes we made. So I didn't make this change from my local VS Code editor, but I made it from my GitHub account online, the remote GitHub account. Okay. Now, supposing I want to collaborate with a team, what do? I want to invite some other developers to start working on the same project. What I would now do is that I'm going to invite them. So I will click on settings. Now, this account is acting as the CTO to this very repo. So this is the repo in case you want to change the name, but I'm not advising you to change the name now so that it will not have a mismatch from your code and your GitHub repo. I'll click on the collaborators. Under access, you see collaborators. First of all, it will ask me for my password, which I will enter. Then I will have access to the collaborators. Here, I can also add people. Normally, the way we do that is to invite the person using the search by the username, full name, or email. So this is the second account. I want to invite this guy now as one of the collaborators to work on this very project. So I'll click on add VC devs. Once I click on this button, VC devs will receive an invitation email that he is invited to collaborate on this project. So I'll try and log in with my second email, so my Gmail that contains that very account, devs@gmail.com. I'm going to type my password by saying, let me see, it's saved here. Now, once I log in, I will see this invitation. See, this is how the invitation normally looks like. The first account, which is my CTO account, invited you to this very repo to work as a collaborator. So that's just the simple meaning of the email. Now, what I will now do is that it will tell you that this invitation will expire in 7 days. Click on the view invitation again. It will now ask me to accept the invitation, which is here. Read the sentence. It says NX1 invited you to collaborate on NX1 cohort 1 training. Now, what I will do is to accept the invitation. If I'm okay, if I know the source, I know the person that invited me, or maybe I have been pre-informed about this invitation, then I'll go ahead and accept the invitation. If I don't have any knowledge about this invitation, I don't know how it came about, I can decline the invitation and that ends it. But here, I'm aware of it. I want to accept the invitation. So I'll click on the accept invitation. I hope we're together, please. Okay, good. Now, once I accepted this offer, this invitation, I will still have access to the code base where I will now make my own changes. Okay, this is the code, the same code as we can see in the from the code base from the code editor. Now, what I would do is to always remember how I'm navigating from my browser. This very browser is my first account, as you can see the profile here. and also the profile here. This second browser is my second account from different profiles.